Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. And today's video, oh my gosh, I am so excited about it. So recently, Wild Eye Releasing, who is a company that's known for releasing like independent, super low budget horror movies, which frankly, 90% of the world doesn't care about, but if you're someone like me, you do, and they're fun to watch. So they recently announced that they were starting a new sister line called Visual Vengeance Video, and this is essentially like a boutique label for low-budget schlock from like the 90s, a lot of shot-on-video things like that. And so I was super excited about this, and so I got in contact with Wild Eye, saying, hey, we used to work together years ago. Is there any chance that you would be interested in partnering up so I can, spotlight some of your releases here on the Cinefessions YouTube channel? And fortunately, they agreed, and so that's what we're going to do today. Now, frankly, I'll be 100% honest, I have no idea what's in here at all. This might not even be Visual Vengeance Video releases. I have no clue. But I'm hoping that's what it is. And if not, if it's other Wild Eye releasing DVDs, then that's fine too. I'm just excited to partner up with Wild Eye once again. So that's what we're going to do today, but not just do an unboxing. We are going to unbox this to start, but then because it feels like there's only a couple different things in here, what I want to do is go the extra step. I want to actually watch these and talk about these releases. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to open this now, and then over the course of the next week or however many days it takes me, I'm going to watch these, and then I will report back to you guys in this next half of this video to tell you what my thoughts are on these releases from Wild Eye or Visual Vengeance Video, depending on what's actually in this. So I cannot wait to get this open and get this partnership rolling with Wild Eye. So first, thank you to Wild Eye for being in contact with me and agreeing to partner up. I am super excited for this partnership, much like I am with the Mill Creek partnership. It's just awesome, and it's thanks to all of you guys for watching. So thank you for being here. And like I always say, if you hit that like button, that really does help me out, and maybe consider hitting subscribe as well if you like what I'm doing here. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's get this bad boy opened and see what Wild Eye Releasing has sent over. Alright, so I have my trusty knife out. Let me get that bad boy open, and let's see what we have inside. Alright, so you know what? There might be some other goodies in here. They got the little sneak peek. It feels like these are boutique. Like, that's what I'm feeling right now, so I'm excited about this. Let's see what we have first up. That's a black tape that I had over my address. Oh, yes, here it is. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. This is awesome. So this is Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. What? Like, that is absurd. Jacked up on gore, Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell is a worthy addition to the Twisted family tree. Oh my God. Alternatively known as the Japanese Evil Dead. Oh, yes, please. This is from 1995. It's a Japanese film. It's only 62 minutes long. So it is in Japanese with English subtitles, and it's in full screen 1.33:1 aspect ratio. It's archival SD master from the original tapes. This is my heaven. I am so excited about this. I can't even tell you. Oh my God, look at all those special features. I cannot wait. You know what? Let's just open this bad boy up, because we're going to watch these and see what is going on with these releases. So let me just get it open and see what we got inside. First off, the slipcover is absolutely beautiful. The fact that this is like Wild Eye Releasing, they have come so far from when I was reviewing their DVDs back when. Now, obviously, this is a sister line. This is Visual Vengeance, but still, like, look at that. That spine is gorgeous. I love the logo. It's just perfect. Oh my God. And they're numbered? They're numbered? I forgot they were numbered. VV01. It is just the collector's dream. And their nightmare too, because then we got to collect them all. But like, I'm so excited. Okay. Anyway, let's see what else we have here. Oh, it's different artwork. Get out of here. This is amazing. They're Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, the Japanese Evil Dead. Oh, this is so cool. All right, let's see what we got inside. Oh my goodness, I dropped something. Hang on one second, let me grab that. Okay, so it was... Oh my God, this is so cool. i4Video membership card. This is like a legit membership card. This is amazing. Rent 10, get one free. Nothing on the back. That is super cool. What an awesome touch. And then a bunch of stickers here. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding? All right, let me get this part out here. What do we have here? This looks like a small booklet. Spawn of the Dead. Oh my gosh. I am already in love with what's happening here. Like, this is so cool. And then we have, what is this? Ooh, a poster? Come on. That's awesome. What a cool poster. That is the other art we saw. And then you can see our disc here. Let me get the disc out though. And there's the alternative cover art. And I think it says this is like the Japanese VHS cover art. Yeah, the original Japanese home video art. This is awesome. I think I have to flip it. Like, I think that's gonna have to happen. So let's get this flipped over here. Oh my God. How cool is that? I love this. Okay, so packaging, awesome. I am so excited about this. So let me get this put back together as quickly as I can here. Like, man, stickers and a video rental membership card. Like, what an amazing touch. It feels boutique. Like, it feels like, you know, something that is worth something, and that's awesome. So I'm trying to get this in here and vamp as fast as I can, but there again is the disc, so that's awesome. Put this one back in its slip cover, and there is one more. So let me get the other one out here. I don't want to look, just, I don't know why, but I want to be surprised with you guys. Let me see if there's anything else inside. Oh, there is. Let me see what we have here. Oh, awesome. This is so cool. Visual Vengeance. These are just like stickers. There's that movie we just saw, and then the next one coming up, so I'll show the movie first. Oh, you guys, I am so all about this. The Necro Files. Oh my God, again, this is number 2 from Visual Vengeance. A jaw-droppingly gory trash fest, really sick and twisted. An often referenced and notorious underground classic for the last 25 years, this American video nasty, interesting, is finally available and for the first time ever in Blu-ray format. Director Matt Jasel's The Necro Files is stacked with intense scenes of gore and sadism and boasts some of the most WTF moments in the history of shot-on-video cinema. Look at those screenshots and you know what you're getting. Now, I understand the vast majority of people out there are not going to be interested in shot-on-video 90s schlock, and I totally understand and respect that, but if you're like me, you are, and you're as excited as I am. Like, this looks amazing. The original archival 1997 SD version from Tape Masters. This one, yeah, from 97, 72 minutes in English, and it is in 1.33 to 1 aspect ratio. This is awesome. There are so many special features. All right, let me get this one open so we can see what's going on the inside. If I can do it without hurting anything. All right, that one didn't go as smoothly as the last one, but that's all right. All right, let me see what we got here. Oh, I don't want to mess up the slip cover. All right. So I will definitely make note of, like, you know, when these, the release dates on these and their pricing, things like that, so you guys know. But here we are out of the packaging. Oh, that's excellent. So this is the other sticker, which is really cool. Oh, man. That is just awesome. All right, let's see. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? No words. A condom. There is a condom, and it's for entertainment purposes only. What does it say? Not for human use. Like that. What? That's amazing. More stickers. Looks like the same ones. And then let me get these out. So we have our poster in here as well. Wow. This is just like super impressive. So many different like artwork on this. Like, look at even more artwork. How cool. This one doesn't have a booklet. It looks like it's just this one whatever insert, but still awesome. Oh, I just cannot wait to watch these. There is, every disc is flipped around for some reason, but there's the disc. And then the reversible cover art. Let me get this flipped around. Let me see if it says anything about this reversible cover art at all. It might, but I'm not seeing it. Retro VHS sticker set. Yep, nope, don't know. Okay. But I mean, come on. That's awesome. Horror Film of the Year 1998 from the Miami Horror Film Festival. That's awesome. Oh, it is reversible sleeve featuring original VHS art. So that's what this is, which is going out front now for me. Stick these back in. All right. So, I mean, like, I'm floored by the presentation. A freaking condom. What? Like, that's how creative. And I can't get over it. Wild Eye has just gone the distance for visual vengeance here. This is exactly the stuff that we as collectors love. I am just so excited to watch these and see what they're all about. Now, could I hate both of these movies? Absolutely. Am I still going to be impressed by the packaging here? You bet your bottom dollar I am. Like, I am so excited about these. So with that said, that's this portion of this. So now I'm going to watch these, check out some of these special features on these discs, and then get back with you. I don't know if I'll do it vlog style or sit down in front of my movies again here. I don't know what I'm going to do, but you should know in just a couple seconds. All right, so I can officially say I am in my post bloody muscle bodybuilder from hell stage of life because I have not watched this movie, and oh my God. So, as it is dubbed on the back here, the Japanese Evil Dead, I absolutely understand why that is, because it's very clear that the director and star of this film was a fan of the Evil Dead franchise. So I learned a few things as I went through this movie, which I'll kind of talk about as we go. But basically what this movie is about is there are these... so the movie starts off and a woman is killed. She starts attacking this guy. I think he was cheating on her. And so she tries to kill him, but it doesn't work out. And he ends up killing her and like burying her in the house. He like pulls up part of this like board of the house and sticks her in there. So then we jump years into the future and we are following this young man who is the son of the guy who ended up killing the woman in the beginning. And he's found out that his dad, after he passed away, that there was this house that his dad had. And so he has been going there a little bit. He ends up going to meet up with his friend who is into like ghost photography. And so he has taken some pictures at this house that he now knows about, and she wants to go check it out. And so she brings along her friend who is supposed to be a psychic. So the three of them go to this house, and that's where the movie kind of takes off from there. The woman, the spirit of the murdered woman, of course, is out for vengeance. And so she possesses the spirit, or not the spirit, the medium, and kind of takes over his body and just wreaks havoc. And so they are locked into this apartment unit or this house, whatever it is, and they can't get out until, of course, they end up, destroying the evil spirit. So that's what this movie is all about. And frankly, I don't know how many screenshots I'm going to be able to show of this one like I normally do, because it's just insanity from like the get-go. It's absolutely crazy. So this one absolutely felt like, at points, Evil Dead. A lot like Evil Dead 2, where it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Like, there's even a groovy in this movie. Like, it is so very clear that this, the Evil Dead franchise was the inspiration for this. What I found interesting about this is that though this is dated 1995 on the back, and that's when it started filming in 1994, it's actually not shot on video, though. It's shot on 8mm film, but it's made to look like some of those SOV movies from the mid-90s, and that's the feel of the whole thing. But it was started in 94, and then he ended up doing edits on it in either 2010 or 2011. So it didn't come out until like 2012 on DVD-R. He released it, so like burned DVDs to like and limited to like 100 copies, and then it finally got picked up and was released in some theaters in Japan and elsewhere in 2014. So though it's dated 1995, it wasn't actually released until 15 plus years later, which is just absolutely insane. So power to him in order to get this film out here, and just super impressive. It took that long, but this is very clearly a labor of love. So let me throw this out here, like, objectively, this is not a good movie. Like, most of the people watching, most of you watching right now are not going to love this, and I totally respect that, but I had such a good time with this. Like, it is just so bonkers. Like, it is just all over the place. The gore and the special effects in this thing are insane, and honestly, Though I now know after watching it that, some of the special effects could have been done much later, I'm still impressed by what they were able to do on virtually no budget at all. Like, the director and star of this says that he was filming this while he had a regular full-time job and was just doing it as like a side thing. And the woman in this, the main actress in it, she was actually a stage actress at the time. And then the main, the medium, he was actually in school with our director. He was another acting student. So that's the crew, or the cast of this one, at least. And frankly, there had to be at least one other crew member because there's somebody moving the camera around. But it doesn't look like there was very many people behind the scenes on this. But again, just there's a ton of admirable things that are done in this film, especially given its age and just how long it took to make everything. But there's a lot of stop motion, which again feels very Evil Dead and just kind of low budget, which is fun. Like, I love that. And there are shots that are directly lifted from the Evil Dead. So I thought that was really cool. Just being a fan of the original Evil Dead trilogy, like, I enjoyed seeing those in there. It's very Raimi-esque shots in this, and so I thought that was a lot of fun. It takes a while for it to get really tongue-in-cheek, but man, once about like the 35-minute mark, and again, as I mentioned before, this is a 62-minute movie. Like, this is a super short film, and so it doesn't take long for things to kind of escalate. And honestly, for like the first 35 to 40 minutes, it feels like it takes itself pretty seriously. But then it just starts getting really fun. Like, going based on the title here, the bodybuilding aspect of this. So basically our writer, director, star of this was into bodybuilding. And so he decided to like build that into the film at the time. He says at one point, like, it's not the gun I needed down here, it's my muscles, right? And like, he hulks out, like his shirt rips off of him. Like, it's just so absurd. And then he proceeds to use the dumbbells and the weights as his weapon of choice in order to take down this evil spirit. It's just absolutely insane. Like, I can't do it justice by explaining it. You need to see it to believe it, and to really kind of get a grasp of what in the heck is going on here. The special effects, again, are just all over. They're insane. So much blood, like so many shots of somebody off screen just spraying blood out, fake blood onto the camera, onto the individuals, onto the floor, onto the walls. So much fake blood in this, but that's so fun. Like, I just have a good time with things like this. The other aspect of the special effects that are worth talking about is just how fake some of the stuff looks. Like, they are so clearly using like dummy heads, doll heads, things like that. It's like intentionally goofy. It's hilarious to watch, but something to keep in mind, because I want to make it clear, like, this is around a $30 release, and it's going to be hard for a lot of people to justify this price tag because it is such a crazy, low, schlocky crap fest, really. And so I want you to be aware of what this is before you drop the money on it. And if you like things like this, then this is definitely something you'll want to check out. But you have to be into this type of movie. So in terms of the plot, it's very little plot in this one, but I think what they're trying to do, which is really just kind of pay homage to the Evil Dead franchise, I think it's a lot of fun. So in terms of the film, like, rating this seems kind of silly to me. I guess I'll rate the Blu-ray overall as I continue through it, but rating just the movie, like, objectively, it's not good, but like, I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. So I don't know what I'd give it, but let's talk about the actual Blu-ray release itself here. So this is one, again, shot on 8mm. Like, it doesn't look great. There is a ton of grain in here. There are segments in this that are like out of focus, they looked, but I guarantee you're never going to be able to watch this movie in any better condition. Remember that this is from the archival 1995 SD master from the original tapes. That's where this Blu-ray is taken. It's not going to look better than this. I would put money on that. And so in terms of, just seeing this film, this is probably the best it's ever going to look. But it's not perfect. If you are going and looking for some crystal clear image, you're not going to get it. It's super grainy, out of focus a little bit at points, just looks honestly like garbage at some shots, but then other shots look a little bit better. They look decent. But again, you're not going into this Blu-ray for the, AV quality on this. And I will mention the audio side of it, I thought was actually quite well done. I didn't have any dialogue lost. I thought the music was mixed well with the special effects. I thought that was pretty good. The sound effects, I should say. So no issues on the AV or on the audio side of it. The visuals, again, they don't look great, but it's going to be the best you're going to get with this. But let's talk the special features, because to me this is the most interesting part of this, because I've been referring to this as like the new boutique label, right? Visual Vengeance Video, the new boutique label. But then we get over to the special features, and that is where I'm a little bit disappointed, I guess, is the best way to say it, because though there are quite a handful of them, there's not a lot of substance here. So going over this, the big special features on here are the 2 commentary tracks. Unfortunately, I didn't love either of them. So there is the commentary track with the Japanese film historian who's named James Harper. And James Harper literally wrote the book on Japanese horror cinema. So while he is filled with knowledge, his commentary track was quite lifeless. Now, I'll be honest, you guys know I'm not a commentary track person, so I was listening to like the first 15 minutes, and then I started skipping ahead a little bit just to see what else there was later on in the film, and filled with knowledge, but very low energy, which was disappointing, and that's not his fault. Like, when you're doing it by yourself, it's just difficult, and it's something like me, like you're going to hear me say and a lot, but I'm on video, so it's a little bit harder to cut those out. When it's something like this, you could have just gotten rid of some of those ums and those ahs, and that would have made it a little bit better, I think. And then, on top of that, there is the commentary with the directors Adam Green and Joe Lynch. Now, admittedly, I thought this was great at the start. Like, I was laughing out loud because of some, gag they were doing, some bit they were doing at the beginning, but they went a little bit too long with it, so it kind of stopped being funny, and I just wanted them to talk about the movie. And it's clear that they are not experts on this film. They've seen it maybe a handful of times, but they're not experts. I did like about this, though, was that it is looking at some of the directorial choices that were made through the lens of 2 people that know the business as good as anybody, because it's what they do for a living. So I like that aspect of it, but it really felt like a podcast, like 2 friends getting together on a podcast, which you might love. And frankly, I love podcasts, so I should like it, but when I'm watching a commentary, I want something more directly tied to what I'm seeing to make it worth watching as opposed to just listening to. So what I would have loved was the energy and the kind of fun of the director's commentary track with Joe Lynch and Adam Green mixed with the knowledge of the film historian. Because unfortunately, as they were alone, I definitely appreciated the Adam Green, Joe Lynch commentary more. But either one, I'm not sitting down and watching the entire thing. Like, it just doesn't hook me. So your mileage will vary on that because it depends on what you're looking for. But for me, the commentary tracks were good, but not great. And then the other special features on here. So there is an interview with the director. It's only 4 minutes long. Like, it's cool that he's on there, but man, he spent 15 plus years of his life making this movie. I feel like he probably has a little bit more to say than the 4 minutes he's given. So that was super short and very disappointing. And then there is like a archival image gallery and some behind the scenes images, which what I liked about this was that they're not like ones where you click the next button in order to get through the pictures. It was actually like a video that played. But again, it's just pictures over music, not anything really to write home about. And they were about 3 to 4 minutes each on both of those. There's a special effects video, 2 to 3 minutes long. Nothing like, I don't know, it didn't really give any behind the scenes look in it. It just showed some of the special effects being done. And then there were 2 trailers as well. I think that was everything that is on here. So while the packaging felt very boutique label, the special features felt quite lacking to me. So that's a little bit disappointing. So that is going to make that $30 price tag maybe a little bit more difficult even for some people to justify, at least on this release here. So while I appreciate the packaging more than I could possibly say, I enjoyed the movie a ton, even though it is a like dumb, schlocky, it feels like a mid-90s movie, and it's what it is, even though it took a long time to release, the special features were a little bit lackluster. So overall, I'm going to give this release from Visual Vengeance 3.5 out of 5 stars. You know, your mileage is going to vary whether this sounds like it's something for you or not. So I'm not going to recommend it or not. Just if you know, what I've rambled on here about for the last 10 plus minutes, if that sounds interesting to you, then you'll probably want to pick it up. But if not, you might want to skip this one. So very intrigued to see what the next one is going to be. I decided to do this one first just because this is spine number 1, so it felt fitting. So with that said, I am going to jump over now to watching the disc for the other release, the Necro Files, and I'll let you guys know what I thought about that one in just a second. Okay, so back again, and I watched the Necro Files last night. I filmed the whole thing last night, but it was like midnight. I was super tired, so I just wanted to do this again. So we're gonna do take 2 on my Necro Files thoughts. But let me point out this movie before we talk about the Necro Files. This is Sledgehammer from Intervision, and Intervision is a separate line, or a sister line, I guess, of Severin, much like Visual Vengeance is a sister line of Wild Eye Releasing. So anyway, this is a movie I was sent back in like 2011, I guess it was, to review, and at the time it was the only shot on video film I had ever seen before. Sledgehammer was, for the longest time, the worst film I'd ever seen. I love this movie. So I know that's an oxymoron, but like, it's just so much fun. Like, it is ridiculously bad and just terrible in every way. But I watched this movie so much when I received this for review. Like, it was just so much fun. I recently watched Zombies Gone Wild for my letter and prompt game on my TBW. That is by far worse than this. This is not an assault, whereas Zombies Gone Wild was just like, it's not even a movie to me. It was just terrible ideas after terrible idea with zero talent and execution whatsoever, like just horrendous. This, at least, there was some talent behind it, and that's what I can say about the Necro Files, and I think that's what separates those horrendously terrible things that you never want to watch again with something that's bad, but you would be very happy to pick up and watch again. Now, that said, would I be more excited to pick up Sledgehammer or Necro Files a second time, or Sledgehammer's case, whatever, you know, a 10th, 20th time, whatever it is? I would probably lean towards Sledgehammer just because of the subject matter. This is a gruesome and like brutal, it is screwed up to say the least. So in order to not get demonetized, I will say that we are following in this movie a person who does sexual assaults. He is a serial sexual assaulter. I don't even think that's a word, but anyway, he ends up getting killed by these 2 detectives, and this like cult brings him back to life as a zombie. But he is going to continue his assaulting ways. But this time he has this gigantic fake member that that basically like leads him to his next woman, his next victim. And we are following these 2 detectives that are trying to once again stop him, even if they don't realize that he's back. They're trying to stop this other assaulter. And so that's what's going on here. And it is just absurd. Obviously, you have the flying baby here, which is the fakest thing ever. That's the only thing that I think like saves it, is just how fake the baby looked, because there is a child sacrifice in this in order to bring him back from the dead. And then that same child, that same baby is reborn themselves and starts flying around and attacking this zombie. It is the most absurd and over-the-top ridiculous thing I have ever seen in my life. But it's still something I am so glad that I have in the collection, and something I'm so glad I watched, because it's just so ridiculous. Let me take this cover off so you guys can take a look at the original 1997 VHS cover art for this, which is just fun to look at. So again, there's not a whole lot to talk about with the film itself. It is super short, just like the Japanese Evil Dead. This one runs at 72 or 73 minutes, but the last like 8 or 9 minutes is just credits. And so it's like a 60-minute movie, again, about an hour long. So this is the type of movie, along with something like Sledgehammer, that you stick on with a group of like-minded individuals and you have a great time. This is just like one of those so bad it's good. I think like Troll 2, a lot of people love The Room. They would consider that so bad it's good. This is some of the absolute worst acting you will ever see. I guarantee that if you watch this movie, specifically from the two detectives. Frankly, everyone else is fine. Like, they're doing what they need to do to get by, but the detectives are so unique and just weird. Line deliveries left and right. Like, they're almost like, I would say 97% of the time whenever they're talking, they are literally just screaming at each other about catching this MFer. Like, that's literally what they're doing almost the entire time in this movie. And it is hilarious. I don't know. It's just bizarre. And they say in one of the special features that, like, the reason they cast one of the detectives in that role is because of his bizarro line reading. And, like, you just have to run with that sometimes. And I totally respect that. Like, you absolutely do. And it works for this god-awful thing that is going on here. Now, let me be abundantly clear. This is not going to be for most people. If you are uncomfortable watching things with sexual assault, with necrophilia, I guess, maybe sort of kind of, yeah, there is necrophilia, cannibalism, like child sacrifice, like if that's Satanism is in this, if that's not something that you care to watch, I get it. You're a normal person. That totally makes sense. But if you can stomach all of that, there is something here that is fun to watch. Now, again, I watch this down here by myself with no one around, but this is really made to be watched with a group of like-minded individuals who will get a kick out of this. And if you're one of those people, you know who you are and you know if you'll like this. But if you're not, stray far, far away from this one. Outside of the two main detectives, there are some other minor characters here. A lot of it is just, bait or fodder for our main bad guy to take down. But I loved that I was able to find out through these special features that most of the women in this were cast from a local dance club, is what they called it. And like their names are absolutely absurd. Hopefully I can put some of the cast names up here because it's like Anarchy. I can't remember the other ones, but like there's just some ridiculous names that they have. But anyway, like I love that that's where they were cast from, and they are willing to do anything in this. Like it reminded me a lot of Danielle Harris in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. It takes a lot of courage to be that naked on camera for that long, and in this, we literally open up with a shower scene, and it is just full on nudity, and then she stays naked for the first 5 minutes until the demise of that character. And it is just full nudity. That takes courage to do that, especially for what are these, probably 20 somethings at the time doing this shot on video horror film. Bless them for, being willing to do that. It's just crazy. This was shot in mostly Olympia, Washington. There was a bit in Seattle as well. And it was really guerrilla filmmaking. So the director, Matt Jaisley is how you would say his name. Matt Jaisley made 2 films prior to this, and they were both on 16 millimeter. But at the time, video was coming into fashion. It was starting to look a little bit better than it had previously. And so he said, you know what, let's experiment a little bit and shoot the Necro Files on video. So that's what they ended up doing. And it was, it saves a lot of money. He said before, with film, most of the money, most of the resources are going into the film process itself. Whereas with, shooting on video, it was a lot different. So yeah, so this was a true SOV horror film from the mid-90s, and it really feels like it. So this one started filming in 95, I believe he said, and then ended up releasing in 97. There's this fun tidbit of when they debuted it at this bar, Chris Farley happened to be there, and he said that it was the most screwed up horror movie he'd ever seen before. So the other thing that I thought was just totally absurd with this is that our main detectives, when they are in the beginning trying to track down the main bad guy, one of them ends up getting attacked with a bottle to the head. And that apparently has just given him this sort of brain damage that he turns into a completely different cop from that point on. He becomes addicted to drugs. He just starts killing people left and right. And it's all traced back to this brain injury that he had. It is just so bonkers. I don't know what other word to use, but man, this is just fun to watch. Again, if you can stomach the disgusting aspects of it, which again, not everyone will be able to, and I totally respect that. But yeah, so the movie itself, again, I'm not going to rate it. Who cares? It is a shot on video movie from mid-90s. It's hard to really rate something. If I were to rate it against Sledgehammer like, I guess it's better shot. It's better than Sledgehammer, but which one do I enjoy more? I'd probably put Sledgehammer on again first, just because it's a little bit lighter subject matter than the Necro Files. But talking about the AV quality on this, again, is a little moot. You will never see crushed blacks like you see in this release. Now, there is a warning at the beginning of this release that says, hey, basically, we did the best we can. We took it from the original archival footage. What is it here? The 1997 archival SD version from the Tape Master. So this is quite literally going to be as good as it gets for this movie. And it looks fine for the most part, but when there are dark scenes, and that's the other thing they pointed out in the special features, is like they had two lights, and they were like two garage clamp lights, and that's what they used for the entire movie. Otherwise they were just using natural lighting. And it shows, because a lot of the night scenes are super hard to see, and the crushed blacks, like, it is the definition. It is like a great example. If you want to see what a crushed black looks like, check out the Necro Files on Blu-ray. But I mean, like, who cares? I thought the daytime scenes I thought looked totally acceptable. And then on the audio side, I thought that was okay as well. I will point out that in the beginning, there are two characters that are talking to each other, and they're like facing, like one person's facing away from the camera and the other person's facing towards the camera. And the microphone must have been like over here, because once the person that was facing away from the camera started talking, you just lost like all of that dialogue. So I think that's more in the filming rather than the Blu-ray transfer work done by Wild Eye or, Vengeance Video, or Visual Vengeance Video, excuse me. The other aspect of this I need to talk about is the fact that this lists a 1.33 full screen aspect ratio on the back of the box. That is not true. This is a 1.78 to 1 aspect ratio, so it will fill your screen as opposed to having that 4:3 letterboxing. And I think that is I don't know if it's accurate, but I think that's the only way that it's available, because I was watching one of the special features, and in there they had a magazine article, and it was talking about the movie. And in that article, I did see 1.78 to 1 aspect ratio. So to me, that lends more credence to the idea that this is the proper aspect ratio for this movie. So it didn't look like the faces were stretched out or anything, so nothing looked wrong with the image. It just was not full screen aspect ratio. So keep that in mind going in. It's just a typo on the back of the box. I tried it in multiple TVs, and this result was the same. I even did some research online, and others were saying, yep, it is not in a full screen aspect ratio. So keep that in mind. But let's now talk about the special features on this. And there are more special features on this one than there are on Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell or the Japanese Evil Dead. But again, what's lacking here is some substance. So start off at the top here with the commentaries. There is a audio commentary with Matt Jasel, the director/writer, and that one is good. Now, again, it's suffering from that one person syndrome on a commentary where like there's just not a lot of energy there. But I like this one better than the other one because there's more information, more facts about the filming, and that's what I find more interesting. The other one is a personality commentary, I'll call it, like they have on the last release. This is Matt Desiderio of Horror Boobs, which must be a website, I don't know it, and then Billy Burgess of the Druid Underground Film Festival. Now, this one is going to be hit or miss. If you like their personalities, you'll probably enjoy the commentary, but frankly, I just wasn't vibing with them. I wasn't connecting with them at all. So I didn't watch much of that. And maybe it gets better as it goes longer, or you just get more used to it. But again, it just, much like the last one, the personality commentary track just felt like two film fans talking about a movie they've seen maybe a couple of times. And that's fine. As long as you like that personality, then that's totally fine. Which, again, for me, it just didn't vibe, but it might be good for you. On top of that, there are some short 8mm films here from the director when he was much younger. I'm guessing he was probably in high school when he did a couple of them, and there's no real anything of note there. Like, it's just funny to see those. There's, I forget, maybe about 12 minutes on the first special feature, and then there is a full short film on here as well. And I'm guessing that one was maybe from college days would be a guess. That one is also 8mm film, or a Super 8, and it is called The Corpse. That one is a little bit more entertaining because there's actually a story to follow, so that one was more entertaining to watch. But the short films are nothing to write home about, so keep that in mind. Then there is a video chat with the director, and it's literally as if he was filming like with his hand holding the iPhone and moving it up and down as much as he possibly could, because that thing just shook so much. It was jarring to watch. Now, I'll say, the information he provides was great, and I loved it, but watching it, like the physical act of watching was almost nauseating because it was shaking so much, so that was a little bit disappointing. And he only gets about 6 minutes. So here's my deal with both of these. Like, these directors did not go on to make a whole bunch of movies. You know, they're not Spielberg, they're not Scorsese. They have time, probably, and the desire, I would guess, to talk about these films at length. So I hope in the future, and if Wild Eye's watching, just something to think about in the future is, can we get longer interviews with these directors? I would imagine 30, 45 minutes is probably not out of the realm of possibility for these guys, because they love these. These are passion projects for them, and some of them were for 15 years on the last one. Like, there's a lot to talk about. So I would love a little bit more meat when it comes to these interviews with these directors, because it's so unique. I want to hear them speak. I want to hear what they have to say about this movie and just kind of that guerrilla underground horror scene from the 90s and the 80s. So I would love more meat in the future. Of course, there are some trailers on this one as well. And then there's this really odd inclusion of this like Chilean talk show segment where there are like 3 or 4 people on stage. It's a talk show, and they are showing clips from the movie and just reacting to it. Like, okay, that's cool, but can I get some subtitles? Like, I have no idea what's being said there. And so it just, the whole point of it is lost on me. Now, if you speak the language, you might get a little bit more out of it. But as someone who doesn't, I was like, why even include this? It was just confusing to me. Like, I would have loved it if there were some subtitles there, but unfortunately there was not. So then the big special feature on here, and this is really cool that this is on here, the Necro Files 3000 is actually the 3rd movie in this trilogy. Now, the second movie, the Necro Files 2, was done by a different director, and JC says on here that the only thing he really had to do with it was he filmed one scene or one segment so that they could put his name on it, but otherwise he really had nothing to do with it. He said he saw it once and then moved on. But his direct sequel, which was done like almost 20 years later, I think it was 2017, that one is called the Necro Files 3000. But what's super weird about this one is that it's done in the Team America World Police style, where it's like Barbie dolls. Like, what? It is so bizarro. I can't even, it's just the weirdest thing ever. So that's there if you want to partake in that. It's only 65 minutes long. Power to you. I am going to stick with the trailer and move on with my life, because that is just too weird for me even. So just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on the Necro Files, I mean, it's very similar to the Japanese Evil Dead. Like, this is for a very small, niche, specific audience. And if you fall into that, you'll probably have a good time with this like I did. Now, I would love for there to be more meat to these special features. I just want more. And hopefully we'll get more as Visual Vengeance takes off, and we get further down this line. This is spine number 2 after all. So maybe come spine number 12, we might get some more detail there in those special features. But still, what they have, it's still impressive, because this is a movie from 1997 shot on video. Like, most people never even heard of this movie. Everybody else, poo-pooed it away because it was beneath them. And here is a company taking a boutique stance on this, a boutique style release on this. So good for them. That's really cool. So yeah, while this isn't for everybody, I had fun with it. So I have to stick with my 3.5. I'm going to give the Necro Files 3.5 out of 5s for the overall Blu-ray release of this one. Again, the AV quality is not good, but it's going to be the best you're ever going to see. Special features, I would love more, but just the fact that I'm holding these is just special to me. So for that, I'm giving these both 3.5 out of 5 stars. All right, guys, so those were my thoughts on the first 2 releases from Visual Vengeance Video. And to me, with these, it really feels like Visual Vengeance is making a statement. This is the type of movie you can expect from them. It's almost the anti-boutique label company. It is just everything that Criterion is not. Frankly, it's everything that Scream Factory is not. This company is showing us that they are willing to go places that no other company is going to go for releases of this caliber. So I am so excited about Visual Vengeance, and if you're the type of person that likes this type, style of film, then I imagine you should be as well. So I'm not going to sit here and say if these are worth your $30 or not, but hopefully my discussion on them over the past however long this video has been has helped push you in the right direction. Now, for most of you, I'm guessing the answer is going to be nope, I'm going to pass on those. Some of you, it's going to be a hard pass. But for a handful of you, maybe these are the types of things that you're looking for, and Visual Vengeance has you covered. So thank you so much to Wild Eye Releasing and Visual Vengeance for sending these my way. Hopefully I get more of these in the future because this was just a blast. I just feel like a different person now than I did a few days ago when I opened this box from Visual Vengeance. Like, it's just absurd, and I cannot get over the packaging on this. Absolutely phenomenal stuff there. So power to Visual Vengeance. I hope they have a long line. One day I hope I'm holding up spine number 102 as opposed to just number 2. So I cannot wait to see what the future brings for Visual Vengeance. But I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Is this your style? Is this your thing? If so, let me know if you're picking these ones up or if you might be passing on them. Hey, leave whatever you want down in the comments below. I always appreciate any and all support down there, so thanks so much for that. But that is going to do it for today, guys. So if you did enjoy this one, please give this a like down below. That engagement really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk movies, I talk all things media, be it books, movies, video games, graphic novels, manga. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today. One more time, a big thank you over to Wild Eye Releasing for sending these over. I am so excited to be partnered up with that company and get to talk about these super unique and special releases. So thank you guys so much for watching this one. And as always, I just want to encourage you all to consume some media today. I'll catch you all next time.